So if you've seen the movie Schindler's List, you'll know about Oskar Schindler, who's this heroic man who saved 1,200 Jews from the Holocaust during World War II. But I don't know if you know about this lady who also saved a huge number of Jews in that time. Her name is Irena Sendler, and she actually saved, well, she and her friends saved 2,500 Jews during that period from the Warsaw Ghetto, which was an area of about 40,000 people that were segregated, Jewish people that were segregated at that time into this one area that were guarded by Nazi guards, were not able to leave, and eventually most of them were taken off to concentration camps. But Irena, she was a social worker, pretty young. I think she was about 29 years old when this all kind of started. And she was able to go into the ghetto, and the guards let her through, and her friends, because she was checking in on the cleanliness of the people who lived there. There was a fear that they might have this disease called typhus, and the guards were very concerned about these germ-spreading Jews. Basically, they thought they were very unclean, and I think they were a little bit germophobic. Anyway, so they just gave her pretty much a free pass to go in and out at these houses that she would check on the people living there. And while she was doing that, she was able to bring supplies and food, clothes, things that they needed, but she was also able to smuggle people out. And mostly it was children, mostly it was little ones, because she could take them out in maybe a doctor's bag or a sack. Sometimes they would be taken out through a border point in a coat or something. And so she would go in all the time, and she would wear a Star of David on her clothes to show solidarity with the people while she was in there. And once she got the kids out, she would take them to orphanages and convents around the countryside. If they started to cry and make noise, she had trained her dog, who stayed in her car, to bark really loudly to cover up the sound of the crying, but also to get the other dogs barking. And so there was sort of this domino effect of German shepherds barking, and then the guards would just say, go through, drive through. So she never lost anybody that she managed to get through. But she was hoping that she would be able to get the kids back with their parents. So she promised to write down their names, and she put them all into a jar, and she buried the jar under this tree to get to later. And unfortunately, most of the parents didn't survive, although the people that she saved did. But nobody knew about this for the longest time until 1999 in Kansas, in America. A teacher was encouraging his students to do some research on a hero, someone who had made a difference. And these teenage girls found a story about this woman who had saved all these Jewish people. And there was only one article on Google at the time. And so they weren't sure that that was a real thing, but they pursued the story, and they began to find more information about her. And even in Poland, they didn't know about her. I don't know if it's just because she never was, she didn't tell people, or maybe there was a little bit of trauma left over after the war. They don't want to talk about it. But anyway, no one knew about it until these teenagers found out more about her and then went to meet her. And then she was given all of this attention, press attention, and now they teach about her in the Polish schools as well. So I wanted to leave you with a quote that I thought was really beautiful that she said. I wrote it down. "If you see someone drowning, you must try to save them, even if you cannot swim." Irena Sendler.